on a story in Karnataka. The National Investigation Agency, which investigated the murder of Hindu worker Harsha at Shivamoga, has now filed a 750-page charge sheet and said that Harsha was killed with the ulterior motive of creating fear among the Hindus in the state, as the assailants felt that Muslim community in Karnataka is currently being looked down upon due to the hijab row. For more details, let's quickly go across to our correspondent Arunima. Arunima, if you could share the components and the details of the charge sheet and what the NIA has to state.
Yes, so this charge sheet was filed on the 18th of August and it was given to the court. The court has now taken cognizance. This charge sheet was filed for the murder of Harsha. He was a Bajrang Dal activist who was murdered on the night of 20th of February at the Bharti colony. This is in Shivamoga district of Karnataka. What the NIA has said that all the accused who have been named in their investigation, they have found out that these accused have formed a quote-unquote terrorist gang, and their intention was to strike terror amongst the people of Hindu community in the Shivamoga city. And in this regard, they hatched a conspiracy. They thought that they will have to kill a prominent Hindu leader in full public view. Now, parts of the charge sheet also says that this group has had earlier confrontations, earlier clashes with Harsha as well, because he was, as member of Bajrang Dal, would organize activities for the Hindus there. And these people thought that, the overall atmosphere in Karnataka, be it the hijab row, be it the tension over CAA, or be it cow vigilantism, as they were calling it, all of this combined with activities of the Bajrang Dal was creating a very difficult environment for them. So that is also one of the motivations that the charge sheet talks about. But overall, this has been called a terror gang by the NIA in its investigation. They've called it a conspiracy. And they've said that as part of this conspiracy, the accused procured weapons, conducted recce, and then brutally hacked Harsha to death in full public view to send that message.
Right. Also, what are the kind of reactions that have come in from Hindu leaders in the state? Also, there's been a lot of criticism about how Hindus are now being targeted in the state of Karnataka. Not to forget, leaders coming from right-wing parties are also being targeted. Hindu leaders are being targeted for being Hindu.
See, this particular case also, initially it was seen as a clash between two groups. It was seen as a murder case, but eventually NIA took over. NIA takes over matters of investigation only when they are not just simple case of 302, not just a simple case of murder, but is a scheduled offense. So that is the background in which the Harsha murder case also went to NIA. And they in their charge sheet have said that there is evidence to believe that there was a larger plot. There was a larger plot to give a message to the Hindu community, and that is why this murder was carried out and the way it was carried out in full public view, so that fear is spread amongst these leaders. So that is something that NIA's charge sheet also mentions in sync with the political charges that have been leveled as far as law and order in the state of Karnataka is concerned.
Right. It's also important to talk about, Arunima, what are the kind of reactions we are getting from the political fronts on this entire case. I believe that the Bommai government has also been under the scanner for this entire issue, because this is not the first incident of communal hatred in the state of Karnataka.
Yes, Bommai government in fact has been under pressure from its own constituents. The Bharatiya Janata Party government is there, and therefore groups like Bajrang Dal, groups like VHP, they felt that there would be greater protection for leaders of their groups, but that is not how it has spelled out. The Bommai government has been under pressure. One of the reasons why they handed over this matter to the NIA, there were demands that this be handed over to the NIA. It's a state which is gearing up for assembly polls. So in that backdrop, everything that is happening there is being seen with a political prism, and this case is, of course, at the top of that pyramid.
All right, Arunima, stay with us. Okay, we've lost Harish, who was about to join us, but I still have Arunima with us. Arunima, if you could complete what you were saying.
Let me just tell you who are the people who have been charge sheeted in this charge sheet.
Right.
Like I said, 18th of August is when this charge sheet was filed. People who have been charge sheeted are Rehan Sharif, Mohammad Kashif, Asafullah Khan, Syed Feroz, Abdul Afwan, Roshan, Nadeem, and Jafar Sadiq. The role of each one of those have been detailed in the NIA charge sheet. What the NIA says is that this case pertains to the murder of Harsha and the way his murder was carried out. The FIR was initially registered by the Dodapete police station, and then on the 22nd of March, which is almost a month later, the case came to NIA. By then, the local police had already, tied the ends together and figured out the motive of this crime. When NIA took over, they realized that the motive of the crime, of course, there is an angle of personal enmity, but that wasn't the only reason. NIA charge sheet says there was a larger plot to terrorize the Hindu community.
A larger plot to terrorize the Hindu community. This Arunima, stay with us because I'm also joined in by Harish. Harish, just now Arunima broke down all the details of that charge sheet. We've spoken at length about it, but I'm also going to get in a sense of what the political reactions have been and the ramifications of this entire case as far as that is concerned. I'd like you to throw light on how this is one case where BJP has been slamming BJP itself. We've seen some senior member of parliament take after the party for not doing enough in terms of banning Islamist hardline groups like the SDPI or even the KFD?
Well, this is something that will support the claims of Ishwarappa and other BJP leaders from Shivamogga. But as you rightly pointed out, it also puts the state government in a spot, the BJP to be specific, in a spot for not doing enough to ban these organizations or doing anything to ensure that Hindu workers are protected, Hindu activists are protected. And this is something that flared up during the Praveen Netaru's murder case as well, saying that this government hadn't done enough. And now with this case indicating that perhaps there was a larger conspiracy or a ploy to create fear among Hindus, or at least have some sort of a backlash for the hijab row, this gives larger pressure, puts larger pressure on the state government and what it wants to do. Some of these organizations. One second, it also indicates that perhaps the earlier stated stand that it was just a mere prior rivalry between the accused and the deceased is not the only reason. There was a larger ploy as well, and that has been put to place.
Right.